My name is Rex Wallace. You can call me Dr. Rex Wallace if you want to. It's up to you, however you feel, because I do hold a doctorate degree from the University of Georgia. I want to mention to you that I'm an educator. I believe very strongly in hands-on learning, very strongly in constructive learning, or as we sometimes call it, museum learning, actually using actual artifacts to teach students. Also using the virtual and the real things to teach students. That's part of my philosophy. I've been teaching for over 30 years now, involving different students, and I've changed with the times. I think we have to change with the times. That's a requirement to be a successful educator in today's world. Hey, what we want to do now is we want to show you how to use actual artifacts in teaching to make it real to students and construct their own meaning in their personal lives. For example, let's take a look at this MP helmet. What does MP helmet mean? Military police helmet. Now this is what you call a liner, really, not a real helmet, but because the police were kind of out there doing different things and have a real heavy helmet. This is part of the honor guard. I show this to students to learn from it. Also, you might want to take a look over here at this toy here. This is a toy made in occupied Japan. It's not really that well made, not at all, but it still works, as we can see here. Or at least it did work. There we go. It is a toy that's valuable because it's very well made in occupied Japan. Actual artifact to show students about the training a long time ago. Now let's take a look at some World War I items while we're at it. This is the gas mask right here of a World War I soldier. Imagine in your mind having to wear this thing while you're stuck in a trench trying to survive. That's something designed by our industry as well. This is a helmet of that World War I soldier. Kind of called a Brody helmet. It was designed to protect people from being from shrapnel raining down on top of people. It was all designed to, you can see the inside of it as well. But over here now we see a World War II style helmet and a Vietnam War style helmet. This is one that was used by soldiers to protect themselves quite well, in fact. It's got camouflage on it. Here we see a mess kit of a World War I soldier. If you look close, you can see the designs. He got bored, and he actually decorated it while he was sitting there in the trenches not doing things. Over here we see another helmet. This one, though, is a paratrooper helmet. Of a paratrooper, it was designed to kind of protect his head when he jumped out of an airplane. Can you imagine jumping out of a perfectly good airplane? That's what the paratroopers did. That's what this helmet was for. Here we see one of the famous Green Berets, the famous Special Forces soldiers, started by John F. Kennedy. Why? He liked James Bond, I understand why. Now here we see a plaque. It shows some pioneers moving across the West. And of course, having oxen drive the wagons. Now sometimes in the movies, they show horses pulling the wagons, which wasn't really correct. Oxen were better. They were slower, much more reliable, and survived much longer. Those are artifacts that we used to teach students with. Let's just not talk with them about it. Let's show them. Let them touch it. Let them see it. And nothing else, put it in virtual things, see it virtually. And of course, here's another famous artifact of World War I. Part of warfare is propaganda. Here we see a poster of Honor Home. At this time, buy more Liberty bonds. Try to sell Liberty bonds to help pay for the war. And of course, at this time, but also they kind of demonized the German army, and that showed the Hun was the name for the Germans at this time period. You don't want to make your enemies, I don't want to make you feel bad about your enemies, what they want to do. But these are some actual artifacts we can use to help teach students with. Today, it's a new day. We're going to learn something about outdoor learning today. I've changed clothes and go outside. Hope you all follow along. There's several ways to teach young people about the outdoors now, especially outside in our backyard. Got a column blocking our way here. So we have to.
Okay.
Okay, as I said, we're going outside. Learn something about the outdoor environment. How to use that to help teach young people, especially in learning environments. Agriculture here, you see we have several different plants planted here as well. We understand how life goes, how it matures, how it grows. And of course we have plenty of space. If you look out that area, we have plenty of space in which the young people can learn, play, and develop new ideas about the learning environment. But here we have an extremely useful teaching tool, the cross or the crucifix. You know, crucifixion was a very, very painful, terrible way to die. But this cross, this symbol, has been a symbol of life. It's actually a symbol of one of the most bad ways of torture ever devised by man. Let's take a close look at it. Still is amazing, you know. This symbol of torture has now become a symbol of life and hope for millions and millions of people throughout the world. And the crucifixion was the way the Romans devised to make a point to people. They were saying, don't let this happen to you. And the people that crucified these crosses, they often set up so they would die very slowly. It was a long, slow, painful death. Now this is a symbol of hope, which we'll learn to teach people with throughout the world. Hey, I tell you, I think it's time that we sort of learn a little bit about my philosophy dealing with modern educational techniques. Because part of the reason being a teacher is to teach people to deal with what they have to deal with in a modern life right now. If you follow me over here, I'll show you what it's all about. Hold on. Of course, we can also bring man's best friend with us too. Come here, Molly. Come here. Come here, Molly. Come here. Come here, Molly. Come here. Come here, Molly. Come here, Molly. Come here, Molly. Dogs in the history of man has always been very important in our history as well.
All right.
Believe it or not, these modern hay bales right here are an excellent example of how times have changed. Used to be the average farmer has to get a pitchfork and pile them up and put on a wagon. And of course, myself as a boy, I often helped out doing things where I had to make little bales and squares and all that. Now a farmer can use modern equipment and can get his hay up all by himself. Things have been done now that were impossible in the past, but can be done quickly, much more efficiently than ever before. Let's take a look now at some other changes that are occurring we need to talk about. And of course, thank you very much. And of course, a perfect example too of how times are changing is they're building a housing development here. This was once farmland. Using modern equipment to make this into a much more living area for 50 people. Normally it was run by one family and one person ran this whole place. All these changes are occurring. And part of education is all about is training young people to deal with the change in life. Modern times tend to be changing fast. They need new skills, new technology. All these are things we're trying to develop in educators and young people. Hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you very much.